and then I'm gonna drop my skill.
No! Oh my god, not this again. Okay. What do you think this
Sasuke.
pertains to?
Wait. Shit. Sasuke, Lee, Neji. This is my skill.
Yeah, bro, I kind of figured that from the scan. What do you think that pertains to, though?
What do you mean? What do you think? What that pertains to?
Like, do you think this is just AP or speed?
It doesn't really matter.
Please don't say both.
Please don't say both. I mean, I don't know. All I know is that the narrative or like whatever these scans are telling me is implying that Lee in the gates can beat Neji, and that Sasuke is stronger than Lee. So therefore,
yeah, I don't think.
Sasuke
Again, these can be different aspects. These can be in a completely different aspect. I think it's more likely. Like for example, the Lee over Neji is pretty AP, but it's in a different way than what the Sasuke over Lee's one say. Both all these statements are AP related, right? That's what I'm asserting. But the Sasuke over Neji one, the Lee over Neji one's a bit more circumstantial. So, do you know the Lee statement says verbatim? You're reading this, right?
No, I can't read. I'm a Dragon Ball fan. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let me read. All right.
Anyways,
Extreme Lotus. Extreme Lotus. It is continuous high-speed taijutsu that can't even be touched. The answers to defeating Neji is this high-speed combo. No way the sand could keep up. In that scan from Light Guy, he says this is the key to beating Neji, which should imply that anything faster and or stronger. Which would imply anything faster and or stronger would do the same to Neji.
Again, that's not what the scan is. That's not what the original translation says, anyways. But I'm gonna argue over this to entertain this a bit. But so, you know the force equation.
Force equation? You fucking are Indian, bro. You're gonna give me a math lesson over fucking anime debates, bro.
Do you know the force equation?
Prove the force equation applies to Naruto, bro.
Bro, don't do this shit. I promise you don't.
No, I'm being so serious, bro. You're trying to appeal to reality right now by trying to add all these force equations. Because like, here's the thing: a lot of the stuff we see in Naruto just aren't possible.
But that's
IRL.
Explained, bro. Okay.
Just show me where this leads. Do
you know differentiation in logic works?
Hey, bro, just show me where this leads. Just show me where.
Do you know how differentiation in logic works?
No, I don't know anything. I'm a newborn baby who just came out of my mom's
so
womb.
The differentiation in logic's made, and there's this rule, right? When two things cannot be distinguished upon, they're assumed to be the same. Whenever something that's not applicable to real life happens within Naruto, there's generally an explanation for it, right? So until two things are completely distinguished upon, they just by default are assumed to be the same.
Hey, bro, I ain't Indian, so please explain that in English.
Bro, okay. I'm Indian, but I'm not Aragoon like you loser, dumbass nigga. I'm not gonna sit here with you and have you give retarded arguments, right? Wasting my time telling me, oh, proof this exists within the verse. You're a moron, nigga. You don't understand. You don't even know the force equation. Wait, tell me the force equation without Googling it. Go ahead. What's the force equation? Don't stall, nigga. Don't stall. What, nigga? What? Now you're gonna look it up, right? You're gonna look it up because you don't know the basic force equation. That's why you're crying right now, nigga. You're sitting here not understanding how this shit even works, right? That's why you're like, oh, prove this appeal to reality. You're a bro. Like, you're embarrassing, dog. You're embarrassing everyone in Era right now. You're disappointing your dad, Juju. You're disappointing everyone. Like, what are you doing?
We don't play chill out of Era.
Shut the fuck up, dog. You're literally my fucking rival.
CJ. You're an NPC, dog. No one's listening to what you're even saying, right? The spotlight isn't on you, nigga. What I'm gonna do, right, is generously give you the spotlight and ask you to distinguish between IRL physics and Naruto physics without chakra natures and chakra techniques in play. Go ahead.
Without chakra natures and chakra techniques in play. Nigga, you need to chill out, by the way. Okay. So, what do you ask me to prove again?
Okay. Again, I told you principle of logic, which is if two things cannot be distinguished upon, they're assumed to be the same. So, what's distinct between let's say the force equation IRL and the force equation within IRL?
Let me just make sure I'm understanding everything you said. You said if two things cannot be distinguished upon, they're assumed to be the same. So that's
a logical. That's a principle of logic. Yes.
Can you provide that because I'm pretty sure that's like an argument from ignorance because there's no basically that's what that's saying is that there's no evidence to say that they're different, so therefore they're assumed to be the same, which is
Bro, do
an
you
argument
want
for
to give
ignorance.
you the logical principle?
Yeah, sure, I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate that. I ain't that big of a nerd into this debate and shit, bro.
Bro,
You know
bro,
I
bro,
got a
bro,
lot of
little
stuff.
bro, little bro. If you go to, I'll give you an analogy instead. If you like, let's say you have a cup on your table, right? And let's say it's a white cup, and you leave the house, right? You come back, you see the same white cup, which has the same properties, same height, and same everything. By default, you would assume that cup to be the same one you saw before you left the house.
I'd
It's very
assume that,
simple.
but to claim it, wait. I'd assume that, but to claim them to be the same would be an argument from ignorance. Because, like I said, that'd
How
be
is it
like
an
saying
argument from
because
ignorance, dog?
I already fucking explained. I said you're basically trying to say with this that if there's no evidence to disprove otherwise, therefore we are going to assume that it
That's
is.
not
That's
what I
why
said at all, bro. I'm not making I'm just like I'm being the skeptic here and I'm just asking you, right? What's the
skeptical.
difference between the force equation in Naruto and the force equation IRL?
A force equation in
The
Naruto.
logical principle isn't an argument from ignorance. It's just me saying what the default assumption would be, which is relevant because without default assumptions, we can't make arguments at all. We can't say a sentence without default assuming what each word or each syllable means. Like, yes, we are going to include default assumptions. So tell me why this isn't the case.
Okay, fine. I'm cool with the force equation being in Naruto. It's cool.
Okay. So the force equation just means the faster, so it's F equals ma, mass into acceleration, right? So when Lee runs at X amount of speed, which is the high speed technique, he would be able to defeat Neji. Now, why this isn't transitive is because Sasuke can be over Lee's normal AP, whereas Neji could be below Lee's accelerated amped up AP.
That, please.
Hmm?
I said repeat that a little bit slower.
Okay. Sasuke could be above his like normal AP, whereas Neji could be below his amped up AP.
Sasuke could be above his normal AP. Neji could be below his amped AP. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Here's the thing, though. We know that Lee used 5 gates on Gara, right?
Yeah,
We need, and like during this fight, he used this technique that is called the key to defeating Neji.
bro. Yes, that's the high speed technique.
But
The
despite that,
combo. This is the Lotus
Sasuke. So
technique.
wait. But despite that, Sasuke is still considered Gaara's greatest opponent.
Yes, but I'm okay. Okay, it doesn't say greatest, bro. It's the strongest. So physically the most adept, and I'm saying this is pertaining to AP. When you're like comparing two people physically,
Wait. I got a question. You know, strongest can mean multiple things. So like you saying, well, this is only
bro.
meaning physically is like an assumption. Why would it in this case be only meaning physically and not like
And
overall the
I'm
strongest?
explaining. Oh, bro, overall,
Okay.
that's ambiguous, right? I'm not gonna say, okay, you can say, oh, overall, this could be in terms of like how much cum he produces. Like, no, are you retarded, dog?
How
Like, I'm
much
not gonna
cum he
say,
can produce?
like, the strongest thing is not relevant whatsoever. I'm saying that kind of shit is very ambiguous. So you need to like, just
I meant
clarify what you
overall. I
mean.
meant overall, like what's important in the fight, like
I
your
mean, I
speed,
think
your
that's
power,
pretty
your
important in a
ninjutsu,
fight, bro.
genjutsu,
I don't know what to tell
taijutsu.
you.
That's what I
Like,
meant. Okay, just
again,
continue. Just continue with your
I don't see why
explanation.
that's
What
the
were you
case
saying?
at all. So I'm just gonna be
See, what's
bring
the
forward
case?
skepticism. But regardless, so when you're comparing two people, right? Let's say you're comparing two people in a certain aspect. Would you give any of them an advantage? Like, let's say you give one of them an advantage. Would that be a fair comparison?
Hmm?
Would that be a fair comparison?
Bro, I'm really struggling to understand what you're saying, bro. What are you saying?
Okay, if two people, you're comparing these two people, let's say in like a fighting contest, or let's say in a punch, right? And then you give one of them an advantage. Would that be a valid metric for comparison?
Mm, mm, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't because let's say like if you're gonna like compare two people in a boxing match, you can't give one of them a knife and say since the guy with the knife won, he's the better like hand to hand fighter. So I'm saying you can't give Lee the
Oh,
benefit of doubt.
wait. So wait, what are you trying to say with this boxer analogy?
Yeah, I'm just trying to say you can't give someone an advantage and say they're better because you literally gave them an advantage, bro. Like, so I'm
Bro,
saying,
this is okay. This is not analogous because like a
bro,
knife is technically considered outside help in like a normal boxing match.
you
Having the
didn't
gates,
understand my
which
analogy. I'm
is
not
huh?
gonna lie. You didn't
What do you say?
understand my analogy.
Okay, then explain your analogy better.
Yeah.
Fucking retard, you Indian fucking bitch. You smell like curry.
CJ,
You eat
CJ,
cows. You
CJ,
fucking.
CJ,
Okay,
CJ,
I'll stop trolling.
CJ,
I'll stop
CJ,
trolling.
CJ,
I'll stop trolling. I'll stop
CJ,
trolling. I'll stop trolling.
CJ, CJ. Okay, good. Anyways, right? So the whole thing, the reason it's relevant is because giving Lee the benefit of the doubt and then saying, oh, with this high speed amped up AP, he's above Neji and Sasuke would be above that, wouldn't be a valid metric for comparison because you're giving one of them the advantage. The more valid metric for comparison would be comparing both of them in their normal selves, discluding the amps.
No, bro. No, bro. Here's the thing. Like, okay, if we go to the statement, right? Gara, who had found himself at disadvantage during the fight with his strongest opponent, right? An opponent is a singular verb. Sorry, not a verb. My bad. My bad. Opponent is a singular noun, right? Or whatever. It's describing what Lee and Sasuke are in like context of the scan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and since Lee is considered one opponent, it doesn't matter if he can amp himself like a bunch of times with the gates. It's still considered him as an opponent. So you saying, well, because he can amp himself, so therefore they should only be referring to their base states is really fucking stupid.
No, no, no.
When
I
this,
agree. I agree. I agree. It's in reference to strongest form, but someone's strongest form doesn't include, let's say, the amped up version. So, for example, if you're gonna say Sasuke's strongest form, we're gonna say like his adult form
Dory
with
plus two somewhere.
with his six paths, right? With six paths abilities and shit, right? But you wouldn't say, oh, strongest form means he starts off with Chidori. He just has the Chidori in his hand by default because that's what like makes him even faster. Like that shit doesn't work because this is a completely distinguished technique. This specific technique isn't part of their comparison because they're being compared based upon their normal physical attributes, not this external factor, which is him gaining acceleration.
What? Dude, wait. You're not making any sense. You're saying, well, because I don't think, for example, if you say Sasuke at his strongest form, six path stage mode plus Chidori because it makes him faster, you're saying, well, I don't think it can be referring to Chidori when it says strongest form, therefore it has to be their base form. And then you're using this to apply to freaking Sasuke versus Neji. Sorry. Yeah, Sasuke versus Neji is fucking retarded. Unless I'm
Why?
missing something. Here's why it's retarded. Because like I said, you as an opponent include every single one of your techniques. And if Sasuke's strongest form in the tuning exams is his two tomoe with the Chidori, then that just means him
Why
with
is
the
it
two tomoe
including all? Why is it including the techniques as well? Why is it encompassing that?
with his techniques. Because that's what makes him his strongest opponent.
That's
Himself, his
fine,
physical
bro,
stats, nigga.
little bro. You didn't understand my argument. Sure,
Lil
he can
bro,
have that
shut
in his
your ass up, Curry
possession,
Hunter.
right? He can have that in his possession. That doesn't mean anything. So, for example, right, if a nigga kept infinitely running and gaining acceleration, yeah, he'd be faster than someone he probably was weaker than prior, right? But this isn't a valid way to say, okay, the nigga who got like so much acceleration is faster than a nigga who was previously slower than that. And then you can't just put that in a data book because that'd just be wrong, right? Because you're giving him an
Bro,
advantage.
bro, that advantage is from his own skill. It's not like giving a
Yes,
knife to a boxer. It's like the boxer being like
yes, but he
born
has
with
to
knives.
gain this
So, hey, nigga,
advantage
I'm not
though.
done. I'm
He
not
doesn't
done with my
generally
analogy.
have it.
Hey, bro, I'm not done with my analogy. You're saying, well, because he has this thing that can amp his stats, therefore it can't be referring to this is really fucking what do you say?
Disingenuous?
Whatever. Yeah, it's really fucking disingenuous because going back to your boxer with the knife example, the knife isn't part of the boxer's skill set. The knife is external help, and what this is referring to is more like if the boxer was born with knives engraved into his knuckles instead of the boxer getting a knife mid
Do
fight.
you not think
The
someone running
boxer
around would be part of their skill set as well?
running around would be part of his skill set as well. Yeah, because it's literally part of him
Okay.
being able
Cool
to run.
concession. We can move on.
What?
Yeah,
Nigga,
we can.
you're retarded.
Sure. We can have the judge decide that.
Yeah, I could barely understand. Yeah, I'm not gonna cap. It's cool. Um,
Oh, wait, Juju, you're judging, right?
Yes, sir. I can judge.
W can
I can judge. I
CJ
can judge.
conclude.
I can judge.
CJ conclude.
7-Eleven. Hey, bro, your 7-Eleven joint about to get robbed if I lose this debate. I want to say. Okay. Okay. So. Okay, let me continue. That I don't even think that was a concession to like my entire scale, like you're trying to claim it was. But like you said, let's just leave that up to Juju. So, was what were you attacking specifically? Were you attacking Lee above Neji, or were you attacking Sasuke above Lee?
I'm just saying it isn't transitive. Like the scale doesn't connect.
The skill doesn't connect. I think I already proved why it does connect. You think you proved why it doesn't
Yeah,
connect.
just
So we might as well just move on to your skill now. If we've
no,
already said
bro.
what you
No,
need
no.
to say.
I wanna talk about it. I mean, I wanna conclude.
Say that
I
again.
wanna conclude.
You
Okay,
want to conclude this entire debate or this like
just
point?
this point. Just this point. So
Okay.
basically, I just said that. I'll explain what's your concession as well. So I said it's transitive, right? And that Lee with the amped up speed and acceleration, because force you to MA. So to gain that level of AP, you would need that prior acceleration, right? With the acceleration, he's going to be above Neji, and then Sasuke is comparable to that. I said comparing them by giving one of them an advantage isn't a valid metric for comparison, so that's not what would have been done, right? And he just like it's so stupid because he kind of just agreed that running around would be part of your skill set, which is part of my argument that obviously you want to like get someone a head start because they're able to do more damage then because they're gaining more acceleration. So I don't know why he agreed that's part of their skill set. So if he then says, "Oh, the Lotus is part of his skill set as well," that doesn't work because I would explain why. If the running thing can be excluded and the Lotus thing is the same, then it can be excluded as well. So
Okay. All
Juju.
right. My conclusion to this is he trying to say that because the gates amp you, therefore they wouldn't be included as your strongest opponent. But I said my refutation to that is basically that if Lee is considered as one singular opponent and he as an opponent has all these gates techniques that he learned himself that aren't outside help, therefore when it says, "Oh, Sasuke's got a strongest opponent," that should include Lee at his strongest because Lee is still Lee even though he's being amped by the gates. That's basically my argument.
All right, are y'all done? Do y'all want judgment now, or do y'all?
Yeah, shoot judgment.
Yeah, Shounen the one, obviously. But yeah, 10-1.
Okay.
You didn't do bad, CJ though.